Deputy Higgins. You're using up your own time.
Thank you.
Sorry, could I have some silence, please, for Deputy Higgins? You already used up a half a minute of your time and all of this. If you stay quiet now, we'll waste some more time. Deputy Higgins, thank you. Thank you, Deputy Higgins. Thank you. Sorry, would you please? I thought you had quoted down Deputy Buttimer. That disappointed me. Thank you.
I refrained from a riposte because the issue I want to raise with the Taoiseach is of very significant seriousness. Taoiseach, some months after the scandal of the fire hazard at Priory Hall and the awful hardship for innocent residents there, which is ongoing, another fire hazard scandal unfolds at Belmayne, also on the North Dublin fringe. Qatar developers have just written to hundreds of apartment owners saying that they may have to move out of their homes for 3 or 4 days to allow fire hazards to be corrected. The issue here, Taoiseach, that needs government action urgently is that the developer and Dublin City Council and its most serious fire authority officers are deliberately and dishonestly seriously underestimating the extent of the fire hazards that they have just acknowledged. The extent of the construction works that will be necessary is therefore seriously underestimated, and therefore, unfortunately, the disruption and consequences to affected innocent residents, some of whom paid €600,000, they're not millionaires, they're working people, for apartments. Taoiseach, the reason for the underestimation of the risk is that for a full year, there has been a cover-up, unfortunately, by Dublin City Council of scandalous breaches of fire safety regulations in Belmayne.
Deputy, you have to be very careful not to be making allegations that in this chamber there is an abuse of parliamentary privilege, making statements that they're being covered up by officials.
I will repeat it outside the chamber, no problem.
Well, be careful now.
Taoiseach, your government Minister for Housing at Cabinet, Deputy O'Sullivan, stood in this stall only 16 hours ago, repeated what Dublin City Council told her, which was that this issue came first to light only 1 month ago, when a leak pipe caused an investigation that showed up some fire problems. That is a blatant lie. In March,
question, please. No state. You're way over time.
In March of 2011, the Dublin Chief Fire Officer, the Assistant Fire Officer, had a 3-hour meeting with residents, and your Deputy Flanagan in attendance, where these problems, serious issues, were unveiled and acknowledged. Yet a fire officer visited, saw the full extent of the problem, yet in July...
Can I have your question, please, Deputy?
Yet
You're
in
2
July,
minutes over your time.
The Chief Fire Officer wrote to...
Deputy, I'm asking you to put your question, please, and I'd ask you to withdraw the word lies, which is not allowed in the chamber.
I will not withdraw.
Well, Deputy, you'll resume your seat. You'll resume your seat.
The residents here, innocent residents...
Well, will you ask your question without...
have been abused and lied to.
This is not a forum for you to be making allegations that other people aren't here to defend themselves. So could I please ask you?
Can I ask you if you will
sit down? Thank you.
Can I ask you?
On the point of order.
Can I ask you?
No, please. I'm looking after that, Minister.
Deputy O'Sullivan, Minister, they said to you, I read...
Deputy, I asked you to put your question. Will you put it, please? You're only 2 minutes over time.
I'm telling you that is the Taoiseach, will you instruct...
Please resume your seat. Please resume your seat. Thank you. Taoiseach, do you wish to respond to the allegations or questions or whatever it is? Sorry.
Corley, please.
I've already made that point. Taoiseach. Will you? I've already said it. Would you please resume your seat?
Taoiseach, will you instruct the Minister
Will you resume your seat, please?
to investigate immediately?
Deputy, I don't wish to ask you to leave the House now, but you will if you don't.
I started with a 3-minute interruption.
Yes, and I've given you adequate time.
And now you've not allowed me to...
Yeah, well, this is not going to be a platform for accusing people here. Well, put your question. This is question time.
About rottenness that's going on in this area as a consequence of...
Will you resume your seat? Taoiseach, would you please deal with the issue? Thank you.
Will you have a major investigation...
Resume your seat, please. Resume your seat, please.
And ensure strict...
I'm asking you again to resume your seat. This is no place for people to make allegations of people telling lies. It's totally out of order.
If it's true...
We're not going to use this chamber as long as I'm in the chair to accuse people that are not here to defend themselves and make allegations against people that are not here to defend themselves. Now, Taoiseach, please. Thank you.
I do not accept, and it is beneath Deputy Higgins to claim that Minister of State John O'Sullivan is a liar.
Here. I didn't say that. The Taoiseach must not divert. I say,
Are you replying?
I did not say that the Minister was a liar.
heard.
I said that the Minister was misinformed and misled. Hold on. And by Dublin City Council.
This is leader's question. Do you wish to reply to the...
I do, Councillor.
Thank you.
I do not accept Deputy Higgins' assertion that Minister of State O'Sullivan is a liar. That is beneath you, Deputy. What Minister of State O'Sullivan said on behalf of the Minister for the Environment, she did not say that it only came to light on that date. You should be big enough to withdraw the scurrilous and scandalous remark you made against a hard-working and very genuine Minister of State. Deputy Higgins is aware that fire certificates have to be signed, and if there's a discrepancy or an uncertainty or a fault or something that's not correct, the person who signed those fire certificates has to take responsibility. If there is a cover-up here and you're prepared to repeat your assertions outside this House within Dublin City Council, then Dublin City Council, I'm quite sure, will answer you. I feel for the tenants who will have to leave Belmayne for a number of days to get this matter rectified. I also feel for the tenants of Priory Hall, which edifice was constructed by a now bankrupt developer in England. The position, as I said before, Deputy Higgins, is that there are a number of other locations where this may well arise. And that means that, again, this government have to clean up a mess, an unholy mess, that has been landed on hard-working men and women who put down their money and signed their names to buy places that they considered would be their homes for the rest of their lives. To have this interfere with them is an unwarranted intrusion, most unfortunate, that we're now going to have to deal with by certificates of competency and a process whereby this cannot happen again. You should be big enough in your retort to withdraw your scurrilous remark about Minister of State O'Sullivan.
Thank you. That completes leaders' questions for today.
Taoiseach.
Sorry, we finished leaders' questions. You had your supplementary. You had a supplementary, and the Taoiseach answered your first one, and now he had a supplementary.
No, hang on.
Excuse me, I'm in the chair. I'm making a ruling. Thank you. And we now move on to the order of business.
Sorry, I didn't have an opportunity to put
We now move on to the order of business.
I did not have
You're after having 5 minutes of making allegations here. The Taoiseach stood up and said he would not answer your first question, and then you got up again, and the Taoiseach has now replied. End the story.
I beg you.
Before I move on to the order of business,
I must insist on my rights.
before I move on to the order of business, I'd like to, if you wouldn't mind shouting, please, and sit down. Thank you. Thank you. I'm being fair and reasonable.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I don't have the responsibility as to what the Taoiseach decides to say in his answer to your question. He answered your question very short, and then he replied to your supplement.
No, I didn't reply. I was correcting.
No, I'm telling you what he did.
Sorry, this is very important.
No, it's not very important. It's very important that you resume your seat, or else to be outside the chamber.
Thinking that I had said that she had lied. I just merely corrected that to say I said no such thing. The point is, that I need to put the Taoiseach. I need Taoiseach.
Thank you. Would you please resume your seat, Deputy?
Why did the Chief Fire Officer write to the residents?
I'm asking you once.
No problem.
I won't be asking you a second time to resume your seat.
Well,
I won't be asking you a second time. I will not be asking. Resume your seat.
I've been treated most unfairly, but not me. It's the residents and the victims.
Resume your seat. There's plenty of people concerned about the residents. There are topical issues. There's all other ways of dealing with this issue. And everybody is treated equally in this House in relation to that matter. Now, before we move on to the